just outside of D.C. Coming up, an important divisional round matchup in the NFC between the Minnesota Vikings and the Washington football team. One of two spots in the NFC title game awaits the winner here as we're underway in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. First down, Campbell, and he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Under 10.
On second down, it's Campbell. And right away, he lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. And in this And now before the ball changes hands, they're going to take a look at this just to make sure that they have it right. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And the defense, they'll spread the field, a dime package here on 3rd and 12.
Just like that. Just like that. Patch it. Go to 50, and you block over here. So nice number one. All right.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Rodgers. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. Well, certainly not how he wanted to start his night. First throw of the game, an INT.
Yeah, it's not easy, but he's got to try and wipe that one away from the memory banks. And let's face it, it's not often a quarterback and a defensive back have a lot in common. But one thing, because they have these individual type plays, they've got to have short memories, don't they? DB gets beat, wipe it away, quarterback throws a pick, has to do the same thing.
Now the Iowa State product, it's Kene Nwangu. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. They go play action. Mayfield escaping the pressure right. And he will slide down with the first down for the moment. But a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Here's Mayfield. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. A few things better than a big man interception. You can always tell right when they get the football, there's that level of excitement and nervousness, and also like, what the heck do I do with this thing?
And you say, no better sight? Well, not for the quarterback who just threw it. It's bad enough to throw a pick, but to throw one to the big guy? But you're right about that. Now what do I do with it? But what's fun about it is, you know they're going to be in the film room after this ball game telling all their teammates, maybe I should shift over to offense. I've got skills. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I always find myself cheering for them after they intercept it. Unfortunately here, he couldn't make it into the end zone.
I think we can all understand what they're thinking right now. They take over the ball in field goal range after the turnover, so they've got that in their hip pocket. But they've got to go for the end zone and turn this into bigger points. Their thinking is a touchdown is really what they should get from starting here. Getting 3 points at the end of this drive, that would feel disappointing.
5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They had great starting position to begin the drive, but now they look up at a 3rd and 5. On the give, this is their fullback. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, there was a trust factor in that call. Turning and handing it to the big man in the backfield, trying to pick up the 1st down. But how about the defense? They were ready for him, and they were able to stop him.
Now on comes the Washington field goal unit. The play clock getting low, so Sean Payton says let's take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now on comes the Washington field goal unit. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and it's 3-0 Washington. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Kene Nwagu now out of his end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Mayfield looks to throw. He'll check that down to Nwagu out of the backfield. And he'll be out right at the 35.
That turned into a very well-orchestrated play right there. Going to work his way out of the backfield to the right, and after he looked it in, he found plenty of space to roam and picked up big yardage.
Now a throw here, hauled in, and he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Here's 2nd and 10. Handoff here to Nwagu. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater, he just made a great play there.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Castro. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Play fake. Mayfield. He'll let this go for the end zone. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
So many times we see teams go on the road and want to lean on their running game, but this crew just announced they're going to try and air it out and make hay downfield.
On 2nd down, here's Nwangu. And a short gain down to about the 33. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. This from 44 yards out, left hash. And this one is right through. And that will tie us at 3-3. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. On the counter, here's Jones. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Another timeout called by the Vikings now. So as they take it over, we step aside. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. These two teams all tied after one. Here's Tressway now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. .33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On the give is Nwangu. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On the run is Nwangu. Finding room to the 20. And finally taken down at the 15.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice gain.
And the Vikings are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. He couldn't quite reach the chalk, but they'll have it at the 1-yard line. A kicker fest so far, all points via field goals. They're hoping to change that right here. They hand off to their big tight end, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Punching it in from a yard away, and the Vikings have taken the lead. Point after, right down the middle, and the lead is now 10-3. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now a handoff. Running left is Jones. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. After he cleared the line of scrimmage, nice little hole developed.
Yeah, great blocking right there at the start. But how about his vision, finding the open spaces and letting his feet carry him to him.
After the run by Jones, here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. There he goes again. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. Now that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
After the penalty, it's Jones. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Good, sure hands there from a guy not accustomed to catching a whole lot of passes. But how about the way he was able to pull that one in and pick up good yardage?
Throwing on first down is Rodgers. And this one caught by Travis Kelce. And he's taken down inside the 30.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
They go back to the ground with Jones. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. 2nd and 8 coming up. Rodgers going to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. The 40, 30, 20, 10. And they're going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. Second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? Pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
The extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is now 17-3. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
And in just about every game we see, partner, what do we do when we look at the stat sheet? We go right to the
turnover differential.
Without a doubt, because when we see that, that pretty much tells the tale of the game. And I know there's still plenty of time to go, but you've got to take care of the football in order to win it.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing now is Rodgers. It's Kelsey on the ground. And he'll be stopped right at midfield.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They were starting to move the ball. And what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. Jones breaking from the contact. And he's got a 1st down as he's going to be taken down. But a very nice pickup there just in front of the 2-minute warning. 49 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. On play action, Rodgers. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Young. Touchdown, Washington. A great effort there. 32 yards. And Washington able to make this a close game again.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Extra point right down the middle. And that'll cut the lead down to a touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
A big play that time on the catch and run.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw Exhibit Z right there. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Nwangu. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Throwing, Mayfield. And the Washington pressure gets to him, and he will go down. Now Washington going to use the second of their 3 timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. The Vikings send out their punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. 35 yards that time on the punt, and control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And they'll begin inside their own 10, so field position certainly not in their favor here. And Rodgers is going to go down in the end zone. It's a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about. Any return that gets you to midfield is a great return. 1 first down, and you're almost in field goal position.
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. First play's a run with Nwangu. And he's going to be taken down here, as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, a trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're in the position they expected to be in. They've got the lead, home crowd behind them, and they're looking toward making that next step in these playoffs.
And I think a key for them is to put together some good, long, extended drives. Work the run in a little more with that big offensive line. I'm not saying get away from throwing the football. That's still working. But if they run it more effectively, they may get even bigger plays in the passing game.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 76 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. On first down, they'll run with Nwangu. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
From the gun, Mayfield, complete. Smith has it. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. It'll be a net of 40 yards there following a 43-yard punt, 3-yard return. And the Washington offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10.
Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. And it's just so strange to see that go up on the board. And then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Again, it's Jones. And down he'll go at the 25.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
He's coming. Over.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. Throw left side here, complete to Campbell. So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
That's a nice job defensively to make sure everyone was accounted for, because ordinarily you pick up the guys downfield and sometimes you forget about the running back. In this case, they did not and dropped him for no gain.
And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Now Rodgers.
And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. This one complete to Curtis Samuel. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up, because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Box it. Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack.
Roquan Smith. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile.
Another try after the first down sack. Rodgers
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. Here's Nwangu. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage. And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that 2nd down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10.
Now it's Nwangu. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 99 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
2nd and 10 here as we sit in the 3rd quarter of this divisional round matchup. They'll run with Nwangu. And just a couple yards there down to the 17. 1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up well short of the 1st down. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And his kick is good. And that will give him a 12-point lead. So that maybe not a knockout blow, but I suppose certainly every little bit helps when you're trying to salt one away in the 4th.
Well, the possibility of being beaten by 2 late touchdowns or at least sent to overtime does exist. But time, definitely a big factor at this stage of the game, is in their favor.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And this could be the defining moment of their season, all hyperbole aside. You're trailing here in the 4th quarter, the divisional round. And they need to come up with something as they get this drive started. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down. Here's a give to Jones running left. 1st down and much more here for Jones. And he's going to get this all the way down to the Vikings' 25-yard line. A big run there by Jones. And you talk about great blocking up front. I don't think he was even touched, not a finger on him, until he was brought down to the ground.
I think we heard the whoosh as he went by, didn't we? Right through the gap. No one there, as you outlined. No one touched him at all. A free sprint into the secondary.
Yeah, that's what you call breaking free right there. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. J.J. Watt able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the 1st down sack. Rodgers. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off near the 34. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. So now it appears they're going to accept the penalty, which means take away the interception. Also means keep your defense on the field. Don't understand this one bit. And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Rolling to his right. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. A big connection on that one. 38 yards. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively.
They'll look to run with Nwangu. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. Mayfield off the play fake. Out to his left. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Baker Mayfield scoring on the 2-yard keeper. And the Vikings are moving closer to a date now in the NFC Championship game as they're able to extend this 4th quarter lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that will make this a 19-point game. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. It's a squib kick that still makes its way down inside the 15. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Complete, the tight end Kelsey. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. Well, that one sailed a bit, but the catch is still made. And he's brought down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. Running right, Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw taken in by Samuel. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 29-yard line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. Rodgers now on 1st down. And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off inside the 10. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. And this will be a Vikings 1st down as he gets this up past the 30 to the 32.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Well, a clear running situation. Try to take time off the clock. He ran the previous play, set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they'd shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit him over the top.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. 133 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. So instead of running, Mayfield's going to throw it here. He finds his man, complete. It's Castro. Their coaching staff, they were pretty adamant beginning of the year. Our goal is to get to the Super Bowl. Well, they made it to the playoffs. That's part one, but they fall a little bit short.
And to me, once again, it exemplifies just how difficult it is.